Hello, welcome back to the channel. Try and do a quick video for you just to share some of my favourite phone tablet games. These, as far as I'm aware, at the time of making this video, you can still get them and you can still play them. That's changed by the time you watch this. I apologise. I'm providing the information as up to date as I can, but obviously as soon as I put it up, it's going to be obsolete. Let's get on with it. First up, R-Type Dimensions. You want to take a trip back to the mid to late 80s arcade games. R-Type was classic. It was a benchmark for a whole load of stuff that came after it. This R-Type Dimensions gives you R-Type and R-Type 2 in one package. You get all sorts of options to play the game one level at a time, or you can play it with like infinite lives and just brute force your way through it. And there are graphical options. You've got a 2D 3D button top right. You tap that and it changes it on the fly. So while you're playing, you can change the graphics from 2D to some kind of more up-to-date three-dimensionally looking graphic. It also changes the sound and the music when you do that. It's quite flash that you can do it while you're playing. And you can go out to the menu and change a few things, but you can hit that 3D button while you're flying around. I play this a lot. They originally brought out, there you go, so it's flipped to 3D there. They brought out an R-Type, an emulated R-Type a while back, and then they brought out R-Type 2. Then R-Type Dimensions come out. You can get it on Steam. I've got it on Steam as well, and you know, it's one of those games. I can just go back to this over and over and over again and play it like a muppet, but you get better. It's all to do with a combination of memorising the levels, memorising what's coming, and figuring out exactly how best to deal with it, because you've got that force thing on the front of the ship that you can shoot off. You can change the shot types by picking stuff up. You can pick up things like that vertical protector. Later on, it's not the next level after, you can get a second one of those. Of course, if you die, you lose it, and having two of them is quite an achievement. Well, for me, it's quite an achievement. You got massive end of level bosses. I think this is probably the first game that brought in really huge end of level bosses, and then you've got this thing, level 3, where the whole level is this one massive spaceship that you have to fly. You come up behind it, you shoot a load of the guns off the back of it, and then you go slightly up on top, take some stuff out at the back there, and you come underneath it. All the while it's doing this thing where it's flying down close to the ground. And obviously the first few times you played this in the arcade back in 87, 88, whatever, you have no idea what you're doing. You know, no idea how to clear this, and it's like the hardest thing you've ever seen in your life. The most impressive thing. It's like this massive spaceship, and you're just like saying to people, "Oh, have you seen this game? Have you seen the size of this spaceship that you've got to shoot?" I mean, we're used to things like Space Invaders and Galaxy and Galaga, Scramble, but where the enemies are kind of the same size as you. You might get something that's a little bit bigger, and then you come up against that thing, and it's like a whole flipping screen is the enemy. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant game. Next up, you got Goblin Sword. This was a game that just came out on mobile devices. I don't think you can get this on PC. I'll have to have a look, actually, double check. I'm pretty sure you can't. It's reminiscent of stuff that you used to get, I don't know, Mega Drive and SNES games, scrolling platformer, where you kill a bunch of stuff, collect things, and yeah, you got left, right, and jump and hit. It's just a case of figuring out how to move left, right, jump and hit without dying. It becomes very difficult later on. This character, I mean, I got 5 health heart thingies. I'm pretty sure when you start you've either got just 2 or 3, and you kind of acquire more of these by unlocking things as you play. There's chests like that, like one-shot chests that once you've opened them, they're not there the next time you go in. And I'm just running back through level 1 just to show what's going on. Here's a boss fight. There's all sorts of different bosses in it. Some of them are ridiculously difficult. This one, because I've leveled up, even though I'm playing like a prat, it's probably 10 times easier than the first time I fought him, and I probably only had 2 hearts or 3 hearts or whatever. Yeah, do a bit of a flipping muppety face tank once you've leveled right up and get a few coins. then later on you get all sorts of different environment elements introduced. So you've got these spinning things, and some of the jumps like there, like if you were to jump straight up there, you're just going to get impaled, so you have to figure out you've got to jump at a diagonal. It's a very hard game. It starts off, you think, yeah, this is great. It's like, you know, remembering all the fun times you had playing platformers back in the day on consoles, and then you play this and it's just soul destroying how difficult it becomes. But it's fun, and it never feels unfair. You die because you're playing like a prat, not because the game's badly designed. There's a shot, there's stuff that you unlock by completing quests, you know, and it tells you whether it's incomplete or completed. That thing about putting out torches, I'm pretty sure you have to get a particular weapon to even put torches out from that. Yeah, and you unlock a load of different weapons, and there's a couple there I think that are, you know, the OP super weapon that everyone tries to get. Great game, absolutely recommend that one if you can still get hold of it. The version of Titan Quest that you can get now is the full version with all the DLCs, and I got this a couple of months back when it was on sale on the App Store. I think it was £9.99 for the whole flipping thing. Now what they've done, the control method is pretty good, and everything else, it's not like a cut down version, it's the entire game. It's Titan Quest. If you've got it on Steam, this is exactly the same, and it's got all the DLCs on it, so all the masteries are there. And you know, if you want a little history lesson in the ancestor of Grim Dawn, this is the ancestor of Grim Dawn. I'm pretty sure the Grim Dawn engine is still behind the scenes. It's still this code, this Titan Quest code that's running a lot of the Grim Dawn stuff. I got the option to play the game on very fast speed, because one thing that is the only real downer on this is it's quite slow. I mean, I remember playing it back when it came out in 2006 or 7 or whenever it was. Completed the whole thing on a couple of characters all the way through Legendary, killed everything. Killed the flipping Hydra, all the super boss thingies in it, and just, I don't know how many hours I spent on it, hundreds and hundreds. It's great, absolutely great. You go back to it now and it just does feel slow, but if you're into the whole Greek mythology thing and a very detailed theme on the different landscape areas, different enemies, get in there and get it. And it's got that whole hook where you'll get a bit of loot drop like that thing, and you go and have a look at it, and although it's like the best thing ever, it doesn't match your build, but you've got shared stash on this, same as in Grim Dawn, so you can go and put it in there and then create another character to use that stuff. And it's got the same sort of thing, it's got waypoints. The map is like it's like a satellite image, isn't it? You can see all the places you've been. You can scroll back as far as wherever you started that area when you arrived and see where you came from. Yeah, fantastic. And all right, it's not, I mean, arguably it's not a mobile game, but it is. So it gets 10 out of 10 from me, no problem. Alto's Odyssey is probably more like what you'd think about when you think about mobile games, and there's loads of games like this. If I had to choose one, this probably puts all the elements together the best way I've seen them done. It's a single tap kind of thing. It moves on its own. You hold the button down. Well, there is no button. There is no spoon. You hold it down and he does a flip. And you've got different characters to unlock, and they do have different abilities. So if you've got challenges to do a particular thing, you tend to unlock the character that looks like it's got the best chance of achieving that. Use that one till you complete all his quests, and then pick a different one. And it's relaxing. It's not a stressy game. You'll play it until you crash and burn, but while you're playing it, you're kind of relaxed, and there's no stats to think about. So you're not playing an RPG, you're not getting shot at. You get chased occasionally, and there are some times you die when you think, that was not my fault, that was the flipping game. But that's the type of thing it is. I do like this one. Probably played it way too much. I'm not going to say much more about it. It's my guilty pleasure. A mobile game that's actually a mobile game. Here we go. Read 2. Oh god. If you want a game that's going to make you want to smash your head through the screen, play Read 2. I love this game. I did actually complete it. I completed the first Read game as well, ages ago, long time ago. It took me, I don't know how many, I think it took me a couple of months to complete Read 2. Not because it's a really long game, but because every level took me dozens and dozens and dozens of attempts. And that's the whole point of the game. It's difficult. And you go onto the App Store or wherever you get it from and you have a look, and there's all these loads and loads of 1-star reviews. It's too hard, the controls don't work, it's impossible, who could make a game like this, it's no fun, it's horrible. And that's their opinion and they're perfectly entitled to it. But if you want a crazy difficult hardcore platforming experience, the only thing I could think of comparing this to is League of Evil. Now, League of Evil was brilliant, and it was also stupidly difficult. You can't get it anymore. I think they stopped supporting whatever version of operating system was on these devices years ago. League of Evil was just brilliant. Read 2 like the spiritual successor to League of Evil, and it's where you can see, I mean, you can, once you figure out how to actually do a proper double jump, it's not as straightforward as you'd think. To do a high double jump, I can't explain it to you. You have to experiment yourself and figure it out. But yeah, I've just got so many great memories of playing this, and getting each level you start it and you think, this is impossible, I can't do this, how are you supposed to do this? And then you realise that that's the whole point. The whole point of it is it's really flipping difficult, and if you mess up, you see that that game over message. It doesn't say game over. You die and it puts this little message up at the top of the screen that says, it was a story about Read. I might have that put on my gravestone. Here we go, Doug. This is brilliant. This is absolute old school mix of Boulder Dash, Dig Dug, Mr. Do, anything where you're, that driller one, anything where you're digging down. There's nothing to unlock, there's nothing to buy, there's no microtransactions, there's no special hats to wear, there's no leveling up, there's no skill points. Pure old school video game. The only way you get better at it is to get better at it. You can't buy your way or unlock your way to a higher score. You just play the game. It's very simple. Now, it features a relative touch control method, similar to R-Type, where you touch anywhere on the screen, you like slide your thumb around or your finger or whatever, and he goes in that direction. And it's very reliable, very good control method. Why they don't put, I mean, there's no buttons involved. You haven't got to find a button on the screen. Well, saying that, there's items that you use later that appear on the screen as a tappable part of the screen to activate invulnerability and whatever. But there's so many different tactics for this, based around the items that you find and the obstacles you come up against, such as that bomb. You learn how far away you can stand not to get blown up. And all the while, you run the risk while you're digging of undermining stuff that's going to fall on your head. So long as there's nothing above you, nothing's going to fall on your head. But most of the time, you're going to have to put yourself in a situation where there is stuff above you. Now, there's no time limit on this, so you can go back and forth clearing stuff. Take as much time as you want. And the game will let you do that, which is really good. It's not, they don't have something happen to you if you take too long to do something. That little bottle down there that he's just picked up. So that, when you click on that, you go into some kind of speed mining mode. Of course, with all these things, the best thing to do is to save it up until you think you need it, or the best time to use it. And then you just burrow like heck straight down. Here we go. Look. Right, so that's what happens. So everything that takes more than one dig of your shovel instantly disintegrates. What I'm trying to do is get to that helmet over there, while also avoiding that stupid ghost that's coming up behind me. But you get used to it. It doesn't do anything different. It's like, if something works in a particular way, it always works in that way. And you get used to it. And if you mine items in a sequence quickly, and you can't just wait half an hour. If you mine items quickly in a sequence, you get bonus points. And that's generally the best way to accrue a high score. That's what the game's all about. You've got a depth that you've dug down that it tells you, and you've got a score. Lucky, see, I landed on top of that massive thing and killed it. And then I got killed by that other idiot. Brilliant game. Thoroughly recommended. Zen Pinball's great. It's a collection of pinball tables. You have to buy them all, obviously. I think you get one, maybe two. I think you get one free with the thing when you get it. And then the rest you go and buy them. But most of these tables have got YouTube videos people have done, so you can go and have a look and see if it's the sort of thing you want to get. There's a lot of licensed stuff. I got the Alien ones, but I got them in a separate thing. I don't know how I managed that. But they're pretty good. The graphics are good, the ball physics decent, in my opinion. I mean, somebody who knows more about pinball than me might play this and think it's a pile of garbage, but I had a great laugh with a lot of the tables on this thing. It just depends. I mean, if you don't like pinball, you know, you're going to like this. This isn't going to make a pinball lover out of someone who despises pinball with a passion. I don't know if there's anyone like that around. Maybe there are people who, you know, maybe they devote their life to hating pinball. I'm kind of indifferent about it, but I'm willing to be entertained. I'm easily pleased. Look at this, look, talking of easily pleased, Jurassic World Pinball. This pinball table is way better than the film, any of the Jurassic World films. It's actually a pretty good game. You can see I'm just bad at pinball. But I like playing it. There's a Skyrim table actually. There's I deliberately won't record that. You can go and find that for yourself. That's the kind of guy I am. So there you go. I mean, that's my list of current favourite mobile games, phone games, tablet games, call them what you want. There's loads more that I've played. Should have put Space Miner on here. Space Miner's brilliant. I couldn't find it. Maybe it doesn't still run. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching.